majority present, the special town meeting will come to order. I'll wait a minute for people to sit down. Madam Clerk, has the warrant been properly posted as required by the general laws of the town of Granby?
Yes, it has.
Please rise as Select Board Chairman Mark Bale will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would like to discuss an article as moved, please raise your hand so that I may see you and recognize you. Wait for the mic to come to you and state your name and address, and then direct all your discussion through me, please. If you are a non-resident or a non-voter, there are seats in the back for you to sit in. The moderator will now recognize Mark Bale to present the motion under Article 1.
Madam Moderator, I move the town vote to authorize the Select Board to negotiate a payment in lieu of taxes, also known as a pilot, agreement with Innovative Engineering Solutions Incorporated.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Let me first be clear, we're asking for the authorization to negotiate a contract. That contract will come back to town meeting, we hope in May, for approval. We can't sign a contract on our own, it has to be approved by town meeting. See here, so the company we'll be working with is, or actually not working with, negotiating with, Innovative Engineering Solutions. They've leased land from Westover Metropolitan Development Corporation. The sites, they give you addresses, 184, 186, and 188 East Street, 190 East Street, 201 East Street, 214, 218, 220 East Street, 220R East Street, 229R East Street, and 914 West Street in Ludlow. And the land that they'll be using is actually in behind, but it's not Granby land. Reason for a pilot is that over time it provides stability. This has become, in the last probably 5 to 10 years, they've been experimenting with the best way for towns to get remuneration for housing a solar array. Property taxes can be on the real estate or on the actual solar electric components. And what's been determined is, and it's getting pretty regular now, is that the pilot is the best way to go. It offers stability, so we would negotiate for a certain amount of money per year for a certain number of years. So we have this stability there, and we actually have also spoken with a consultant who works for free and has done this in other communities. So we expect that we'll have everything we need to come back to you and make a successful negotiation.
Any further discussion? This calls for a majority vote to pass, so all those in favor of Article 1 as moved, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? Article 1 passes by a majority vote. The moderator will now call Dave DeMosier to present the motion under Article 2.
I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $15,000 for the purpose of funding the highway department expense budget for fiscal year 2015.
Second?
Second.
Discussion?
As you might be all aware of that we had a really tough winter this year, but we've had a number of breakdowns starting even before winter. Transmissions, clutches, a number of breakdown springs, wheels, hubs. Right now, my vehicle repair budget is about $6,500 in the red, and I've got another $5,000 in bills from one of the big trucks that we just sent out to a dealer to work on the injectors a few weeks ago between snowstorms. I haven't seen that bill yet, I haven't paid it yet. So the vehicle repair budget is significantly in the red already.
Any further discussion? Over here.
Terry LaJoy, 160 School Street. I'm just wondering why the warrant amount is different from your motion. It's about $5,000 different.
One of the big reasons is this last repair in one of the trucks. When we originally were talking, the $10,000 would cover it, but this was within the last 2 weeks. The truck was getting diesel fuel dilution in the oil, motor oil, so it could not be run. So we sent it down to the dealer between snowstorms to repair the injectors.
Go ahead.
So should the warrant be altered to reflect that? Yeah.
I believe the warrant says for a greater or lesser amount, which allows us to up or down in the motion. Could you give me the microphone, please?
You have an exact amount, so I don't know why you're just not altering it to reflect that.
Brian O'Toole, Town Council. The warrant indicated an amount and or greater or lesser. The purpose of the warrant is to inform the general populace that a certain subject would be taken up. The amount and the warrant as written was fine. It's the article that controls as to the amount that, the exact amount that is going to be asked for. So under the terms of procedure, it does fit within the framework of the Mass General Laws, the town bylaws, and for the purposes of being here today.
Over here, please.
Abelson, Cold Hill. I want to speak in favor of our highway department. In my informal survey driving around our local area, our roads are so much better. Our snow clearance is so much more complete than Ludlow or Holyoke or Amherst or South Hadley. So whether it's you, Dave, or the truck, or whatever it is, congratulations.
Thank you. Any further discussion? This calls for majority to pass, so all those in favor of Article 2 as moved, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? Article 2 passes unanimously. The moderator will now call Mr. Petras to present the motion under Article 3.
I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $85,000 for the purpose of funding the school department expense budget for fiscal year 2015.
Second? Second. Discussion?
Just to bring you up to date on this, we have a couple reasons for this supplement appropriation. We had some unforeseen expenditures involving some replacement pipes with the heating system at the West Street School. That happened in late November, early December. Those costs were in excess of $40,000. And the other reason is that we had also 3 students with disabilities who need to go on for out-of-district placement
One was a result of a legal agreement, and the other two result of emergency placements for health and safety. That cost came over to over $150,000. We were able to cover it through some other contingencies, but we still needed the other approximately $45,000 to cover that at this point.
Any further discussion? Over here, please.
Rich Doboraki, Bassler Street. Actually, I'm opposed to this warrant. At the beginning of the year, we gave the school committee over $10 million to run the schools for the year. And as everyone knows, the budget is made up of different line items. Some are over budget, some are under budget. Now, with the budget being so large, $10 million, actually it's a little under 10, I think the school committee can find $85,000 to cover these expenses. And I think also there's a little under 4 months left to the end of the budget year. So they're not even they may not even be aware of some items, line items that are under budget that can be used to pay for these items. So again, I'm against this. We already passed an override, school override of $305,000. So I think the school committee should be held to their original budget, and it should not be increased.
Thank you.
Good evening. John LaGarra speaking on behalf of the Finance Committee. Finance Committee recommends that you vote in favor of this article. We too had some questions about whether or not the school could find $85,000 level, $10 million expenditure, $12 million expenditure for the school. And we discovered that they probably can't this year. If you remember at the last year's budget session, the schools have been cutting and cutting to be able to try to bring a budget within the amounts that's the minimum required plus the extra $305 that were spent. And the Finance Committee in the town has pushed pretty hard for them to get pretty close to that budget, which they did. These things that they're asking for could not be anticipated. Breaking of the pipes, the extra costs for the schools, and special education fees. These are really unexpected things which they were not able to budget for, would not anticipate. They had anticipated it might have been able to do something, you might have had to ask for extra money at the last time meeting. But anyway, we're convinced that it is a good expenditure for the schools, and we recommend that you vote for it. Thank you.
Just let you know also that we as a school committee, we understand the constraints on and the amount of money, but we've looked at this very carefully since we've started the budget year, looked very carefully at every expense. And we question this ourselves as to what other ways we can cover things, but this is on top of the fact that there have been a few recent cuts with the governor's budget that you might hear about. We try to eat some of those up too, but it's very difficult. And it seems like a lot of money, but we do an awful lot with the little bit of money that we have. Even though for many people it is the largest budget in town, but I think educating our children is our responsibility. These things are unforeseen, as Mr. Rivera said, and obviously we have to deal with them. And we weren't prepared to, have a budget approved last June with these unforeseen expenses.
Is there any further discussion? Right here.
Anderson Goldfield. Are superintendent recruitment costs included in this request as well?
No, they are not. In order for this to pass, we need a majority vote. So all those in favor of the motion under Article 3, please raise your cards. Thank you. All those opposed? The motion, the article as moved passes by a majority vote. The moderator will now call for a motion to dissolve the special town meeting. Second. All in favor?